My uncle Raymond, he was killed during the war, 9 years before I was born. But my father had a folio of work that he'd done. And every now and again we'd go into the dining room and dig out this folio and we sort of look through it. So I think that's what started me off. And album covers. I thought, I would buy an album because I loved the cover, which was quite disappointing sometimes. I didn't know what to do, but I just knew that I liked drawing and I was just obsessed with pop music, and I wanted to design album covers. So it was more graphics that I suppose that I was interested in. But I got a place at the Lanchester Polytechnic doing a degree in fine art. While I was at art college, I learnt to play a bass guitar. And then I met Jerry Dammers, who, after he graduated in 1976, he got in touch with me and said, I want to form this group, and that became the Specials. Art was always there in the background. I would, when we went to New York, everybody else went out night clubbing, but I got to bed early so I could go to the Museum of Modern Art and the Guggenheim the next day. I mean, with music, you know instantly whether you're doing it right or not, because people will either clap or they'll throw things at you. Whereas art is a lot more passive, it's a lot more contemplative. They're both creative and they do inform one another in some ways, but in the actual practicing of them, they couldn't be more opposite. I finally used my degree in a special needs school, and that was really good because you had to think about how you could sell this subject to these children. It made me think a lot about my own practice. In 2008, the Specials reform, it gave me a lot of downtime, and so in that downtime I started painting, and I just loved that pop art notion of elevating the mundane. The cassette was just this little disposable piece of early music technology. If you're a musician, you went to a recording studio, what you'd recorded that day, they put in a little cassette and you take it home and and learn, okay, we'll go with take 5, or here's something that I need to practice art over. Some of those were like the skeletons of what would be like classic albums. So if you were a Clash fan, here's a cassette from Electric Lady Studios where the Clash recorded Combat Rock in New York. And I had a load of them, I had a load of stuff from Horizon Studios in Coventry where the Specials recorded. Again, that was sort of pop art in a way. It's like the elevating of the mundane. Here's something that's ordinary and you make it art. The Japanese vending machines are fantastic. They're just bonkers. They're all over the place in Japan. Bright colours, and there's all this kaleidoscope of all these crazy looking drinks. It just seemed like pop art made manifest. I like all these things in outside shops. There'll be like fiberglass maquettes of a bloke with a menu and a chef's hat. Ice cream vans. I'm really like but I love that. That's like folk art. That's almost like pop art, but it's I like how they decorated the barges on the canals. The Beano people saw a piece that I'd done in the Doc Martens store in Camden, and they asked me if I wanted to do stuff for the 80th anniversary. So I did it. I mean, every kid at my age, had the Beano, Dennis the Menace, and sort of thinking about my favourite artists and these Beano characters. So let's just have this big, Beano characters ram raid pop art, 60s pop art. With the music, I'm a bass player. I'm part of the engine room. I'm part of a team. I have a role within a group. The art is my solo album. The work stands or falls by my efforts and my efforts only. I just consider myself incredibly lucky to have the 2 best jobs in the world. I'm the bass player in the Specials, for goodness sake, and I'm able to make these paintings that I really enjoy painting.